Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a young man named Pewel. Pewel was not like the other boys in the village. While they played in the fields or helped their parents, Pewel spent most of his time with a brush in his hand, painting beautiful pictures. His talent was like magic, though it was not real magic, just skill and practice. He could paint the sunrise so perfectly that people felt its warmth just by looking at it. He could draw faces so well that they seemed ready to speak. His hands could bring life to simple paper and colors. Everyone in the village admired Pewel's work. Farmers, traders, and even travelers passing through stopped to see his paintings. "You have a gift, Pewel," the village elders would say. "Your hands can do what no one else's can." Soon, Pewel became famous. People from faraway towns came to buy his paintings. They paid him with gold coins, fine clothes, and even food. Pewel's house, once small and simple, became bigger and filled with beautiful things. With his growing success, Pewel began to change. He no longer spent time with his childhood friends. He stopped greeting the old men who had once encouraged him. He only talked to rich buyers and important people. One day, a poor farmer brought his daughter to Pewel. "My child is getting married," the farmer said. "I have no money to give her a wedding gift. Will you paint her a picture?" Pewel looked at the farmer's worn-out clothes and shook his head. "I do not work for free," he said. "If you cannot pay, you do not deserve my art." The farmer lowered his head in sadness and walked away with his daughter. The villagers who saw this began to whisper among themselves. The Pewel they once knew, kind and humble, was no longer the same. But Pewel did not care. He believed that his talent made him better than others. He thought that as long as he could paint, he would always be loved and respected. Little did he know that life was about to teach him a lesson he would never forget. As Pewel's fame grew, so did his pride. He no longer walked through the village like before. Instead, he rode a fine horse, wearing rich clothes that made him look different from the people he once called friends. At the market, when villagers greeted him, he barely nodded. When children ran to him, hoping to see his paintings, he waved them away. "I don't have time for idle chatter," he would say. His old friends, who had once played with him in the fields, tried to talk to him. "Pewel, you have changed," one of them said. "You are not the kind and humble person we knew." "I have grown," Pewel replied with a smirk. "Unlike you, I am now important. My paintings are worth more than anything in this village. Why should I waste my time with small people?" Word spread through the village about Pewel's arrogance. Some people still admired his art, but they no longer admired him. One evening, Pewel's father sat him down by the fire. His mother, too, was there, her face full of worry. "My son," his father began, "we have watched you change before our eyes. You were once a boy full of kindness. Now, you insult those who once supported you." "I only speak the truth," Pewel said, crossing his arms. "Why should I respect those beneath me?" His mother sighed. "Pewel, pride is a dangerous thing. It blinds the heart. We love you, but we fear you will lose everything if you continue this way." Pewel laughed. "Lose everything? That will never happen. My art will always make me great." His father shook his head. "Remember, a tree with weak roots falls when the storm comes." But Pewel did not listen. One day, a rich merchant visited the village. He saw Pewel's paintings and was amazed. "Your work is like nothing I have seen before," the merchant said. "Come to the city. There, you will earn more gold than you can imagine." Pewel's eyes shone with excitement. He packed his best paintings and left without saying goodbye to his family or friends. In his mind, he was finally going to be among the truly important people. He believed he had no need for his simple village anymore. Little did he know, the world outside was not as kind as he expected. Puel arrived in the big city, his heart filled with pride. Everywhere he looked, there were tall buildings, busy markets, and people dressed in the finest clothes. He smiled to himself. "This is where I belong," he thought. The rich merchant introduced him to other wealthy buyers. At first, they admired his work and paid him large sums of money. Puel grew even prouder. He sneered at other artists in the city, calling their work ordinary and unworthy. But as time passed, new artists came, bringing fresh styles and ideas. The rich buyers who once praised Puel now turned their attention to others. One day, Puel went to an art exhibition, expecting to be treated like a king. Instead, he overheard two merchants whispering. "His work is old now," one said. "There are better artists in the city." "Yes," the other agreed. "And his attitude is unbearable. Who would want to work with someone so arrogant?" Puel's heart sank, but he refused to believe it. "They're just jealous," he told himself. Days turned into weeks, and fewer people bought his paintings. Those who once invited him to grand feasts no longer sent messages. His money began to run out. One evening, Puel visited the merchant who had first brought him to the city. "Sir, I need your help. My paintings are not selling as before." The merchant sighed. "Puel, I warned you. Talent is important, but so is humility. You insulted other artists, you ignored those who advised you, and now, people do not want to support you." Puel clenched his fists. "But I am still the best." The merchant shook his head. "Pride will not feed you, Puel. I cannot help you anymore." With nowhere else to turn, Puel tried to find work, but no one wanted to hire an artist who had treated others poorly. His fine clothes became worn. His large house was taken away because he could no longer afford it. Soon, he found himself living in a small, cold room with barely enough food to eat. For the first time, Puel felt true loneliness. He had been so proud, thinking he didn't need anyone. But now, no one was there to help him. One night, as he lay on the hard floor, he thought about his parents and his village. He remembered their warnings. He had laughed at them, but now, he wished he had listened. Tears filled his eyes. "What have I done?" he whispered. He had lost everything. And worse, he had no one left to turn to. Puel could not take it anymore. The city had once welcomed him with open arms, but now, it had no place for him. He had no money, no friends, and no hope. One cold morning, he packed the few belongings he had left and began the long journey back to his village. His fine clothes were now torn and dirty, his once proud walk had become slow and tired. As he neared the village, he felt a heavy weight in his heart. "What will they say when they see me like this?" he thought. When he entered the village, people turned to look at him. Some whispered, some shook their heads. The man who had once looked down on them had returned with nothing. Puel walked to his family's home. He hesitated before knocking on the door. After a moment, his mother opened it. When she saw him, her eyes widened with shock. "Puel?" she gasped. Tears filled his eyes. "Mother, I have lost everything." His mother pulled him into her arms, holding him tightly. "My son," she whispered. Hearing the noise, Puel's father came outside. He looked at his son, his once proud face now full of shame. Puel lowered his head. "Father, you were right. My pride destroyed me. I hurt people, I insulted my own family, and now, I have nothing left." His father sighed. "Puel, we warned you because we love you. But you refused to listen." "I know," Puel said, his voice breaking. "And I am sorry." His father studied him for a moment, then placed a hand on his shoulder. "The important thing is that you have learned. But saying sorry is not enough. You must show through your actions that you have changed." Puel nodded. He knew that he had to make things right. The next day, he went around the village, facing the people he had wronged. He apologized to the poor farmer he had once refused to help. He greeted the children he had ignored. He humbled himself before his old friends, admitting how badly he had treated them. At first, some villagers did not trust him. "How do we know you won't become proud again?" they asked. Puel looked down. "I don't expect you to forgive me right away. But I will prove to you that I have changed." And he did. Instead of only painting for the rich, he started painting for the village. He made beautiful signs for the market stalls. He painted the school walls with bright pictures for the children. He even painted a wedding gift for the farmer's daughter, free of charge. Slowly, the villagers saw his sincerity. One by one, they forgave him. For the first time in a long time, Puel felt something greater than fame. He felt love and acceptance. But there was still one lesson left for him to learn. As days passed, Puel continued to serve the village with his art. But this time, it was not for gold or praise, it was to bring joy to others. One afternoon, he sat outside his small home, painting a picture of a mother and child. A young boy watched him curiously. "Mr. Puel, why do you paint for free now?" the boy asked. Puel smiled and set down his brush. "Because art is not just about money. It's about telling stories, bringing happiness, and making people feel special." The boy thought for a moment. "But before, you only painted for rich people. You didn't care about us." Puel's smile faded. He nodded. "That was my mistake. I thought my talent made me better than others. But in the end, my pride left me with nothing." Just then, Puel's father walked by and heard his words. He placed a hand on his son's shoulder. "And what have you learned, my son?" Puel took a deep breath. "I have learned that talent is a gift, but character is a choice. If we are not kind, humble, and grateful, no amount of talent or success will matter." His father smiled proudly. "Then you have truly changed." That evening, as the sun set over the village, Puel sat with his family, feeling a warmth in his heart that gold could never give. He had lost everything, but in the end, he had gained something far greater: a humble heart, a grateful spirit, and the love of his people. The moral of the story. Dear children, Puel's story teaches us an important lesson. Being talented is wonderful, but it is not the most important thing in life. What truly matters is how we treat others. If we are kind and humble, people will love and respect us. But if we become proud and look down on others, we may end up losing everything. Success is not just about what we can do, but about who we are. Always be grateful for your gifts, but never use them to hurt or belittle others. True happiness comes not from having the best things, but from having a good heart. So, always choose kindness. Always choose humility. And always remember, people are more valuable than possessions. Now, think about this. How do you treat others when you are good at something? Do you help and encourage them, or do you act like you are better than them? Make the right choice, and you will always be loved and respected. Good night, and may your heart always be filled with kindness.